Courage and Conquest, Discovering Canadian History, teaches students about settlement history from Vikings to Confederation, including events which brought every province or territory into Canada after Confederation. Courage and Conquest is a guide for using living books to tell the story of Canada's history. What's a living book? It's by an author whose passion for the subject excites the imagination. Events and facts are easier to remember when emotions are stirred. In contrast, textbooks tend to list information in summary form, without necessarily engaging the reader. As an example of a living book, the Kids' Book of Canadian Railway is full of beautiful paintings and interesting information about the people and times of the building of the Transcontinental Railway. This is a far better choice than a few pages in a textbook. Courage and Conquest is chronological. You can fast track by using just specific pages listed for minimal reading, or you can meander down the scenic path, enjoying many of the resources which include stories, activities, videos, historical fiction, and online resources. For example, in the lesson on the railway, I included just enough pages of reading from the Kids' Book of Canada's Railway for a single lesson. But the hope is that the children will want to enjoy the whole book along with some of the other resources. Since there are 30 lessons and 42 weeks in a school year, if you do history 2 to 3 times a week, you have flexibility to stretch some of the topics into 1 to 4 weeks. How much teacher prep? This curriculum requires very little prep time, since all the resources and appropriate page numbers are listed, with flexibility for the joy of learning. What age group? You can use Courage and Conquest with multiple grades. I always suggest doing it once in grades 4 and under as an overview of Canadian history, and again in between grades 5 to 8 with more topical study. In a homeschool setting with multiple ages, this means that Courage and Conquest could be done together with all the elementary grades, each child working at their own grade level, while the storyline is the same. What other resources are there? Books such as the Kids' Book of Canadian History have beautiful visuals to engage the visual learner. The Discovering Canada series of 11 topical books have appealing stories with activities for your hands-on learner. Selections from Canada A People's History DVDs can be viewed after reading and are easily cross-referenced in the study guide. Historical fiction will deepen a child's curiosity and interest. Some of my favorites are Madeline Takes Command, Bully Boys, Broken Blade, and A King's Daughter, just to name a few. After reading, viewing, and completing some activities for project-based learning, students between grades 3 to 6 would then do the work page, which reviews the lesson content. With grades 1 to 2, the questions on the work pages can be answered orally. With grades 6 and up, rather than complete work pages, the students would write a short summary from their reading, put their timeline picture in their notebook as a visual reinforcement, and complete 2 or 3 independent topical research projects as suggested in the additional study section of many of the lessons. For the younger kids, the timeline pictures can be colored and placed on a timeline marked in centuries. You and your students will find Canadian history appealing. Many say it's their favorite subject, and why wouldn't it be when it's so story-based? Everyone loves a great story. For more information, go to donnaward.net or check out my Facebook page for specials and free resources.